Hello everyone, welcome back. It's more MoteMancer. Still doing my water start elementalist, trying out of the new stuff added since I last played in August, which includes the entropy update and the much more recent Foundations stuff. And I was thinking in between episodes, what exactly is it that makes me feel like I'm not making as much progress as I wish I were? Why does it feel like I'm, despite like sort of knowing what I'm doing, why is it everything is taking me so long? I still don't have roots. I mean, like I have root automation set up as of the last video, but I don't have it doing much science. I don't have actual power automation set up for anything I'm doing. Like I don't have leaves and canopies going. Whereas I feel like with a normal start, like normally it doesn't take this long to do, I guess is what I'm saying. And so I was thinking, what is it exactly that I'm struggling with? Because it sort of feels like I've gotten over the hurdle of Elementalist, right? Of like having to set everything up without access to any salt down here was quite difficult. Or, I mean, I don't know, not super difficult, but slow anyway. But, like, that's over. I've got a bootstrap of, you know, hey, here's some water. Oops. Automation going. You know, I'm making a bunch of... I had streamways, enough to start connecting up the basic salt stuff. Why is it that scaling up to a decent amount of life is feeling hard when I've gotten over what I thought was the initial hurdle? And the answer that I came up with, you know, which you can agree with or not, I suppose, is that I'm not over that initial hurdle. I'm over some of it. I got to, like, adept research on everything with this sort of initial setup. But normally what you can do is set up a little salt mall that just builds you lots of grippers, saltways, and maybe chests, and, like, elemental binders or something. Which you can do in a very compact space, and so it's not that difficult to keep all of the stuff powered. And then you can use that to build out a big old, like, elemental binding array and grindstone arrays, right? You can have all those automated, making lots of them. And then from there, you can start getting large amounts of any element you want from that backing. But I can't actually do that because building these arrays takes a ton of water, right? And I don't have a ton of water. I just made a little bit to get this research going. And scaling it up would require a bunch more elements. So I think it is kind of that, like, yeah, I don't have salt logistics available, and that's making things harder in ways that are not quite so easy for me to see. And that's why I was feeling kind of discouraged and unproductive, I guess. But, I mean, we're getting things done. But I just wanted to reflect on why everything was taking so long. So I made these roots last time. And that was pretty near the end of what I accomplished. So what do we want next? What is it currently researching? It's researching mystical agriculture, which, fine. So what I need is to automate mana leaves, and these are expensive little buggers, right? Artifice, mana leaves. Yeah, they want leaves and roots. So I had set up to start doing that, and then I was like, oh gosh, I've been here for a while. Let's go make a new. Let's end the episode. So I have leaves. No, these are roots. And there are leaves here, right? So I can connect all of these and start mass-producing mana leaves. Mass-producing is a very generous description, of course. Actually, wait, can I just do that? I can. Okay. Because the amount of all this stuff I'm making is quite small. But I can at least do it automatically, right? Start feeding it into research. Honestly, like, how these get made at... Yeah, I'll just make one greenhouse for this. And plonk it down right here, I think. I'm not that ambitious. Doing this all near the portals and near a moat field is obviously like kind of crazy, but you know, what can you do? So let's just do that, and I don't know. This? And I can take these leaves out, and you know what, let's take chests off my hotbar. I forgot they're there. Let's delete all my chests. I don't need them for anything. I can't use chests. So a pedestal, let's say here. I guess like this. The air grippers are a little bit awkward. Ah, this is the wrong building. I need an arboretum to make mana leaves. It's so big. That, I guess, it's using up some of this moat field, which is unfortunate, but I didn't exactly design this well. You know what? Actually, hang on. Let's not do that. Let's... Let's try to build... No, because I want to ship it... Like, I want to move it down to the altars. I was thinking I'll move the inputs up to here. And that, but, like, I have to ship them down anyway, so... Not... well, maybe I could justify that. So let's just take all this away. I really should not be building so close to the moat field. So let's say I did that. I mean, I shouldn't be building this close either, but it's a little bit less close this way. So if I take this... There. Now I can place my arboretum. Let's say here. There. And run some mana leaves down to here. Now this will not build very quickly because I don't make that many leaves or mana roots. Also, I probably need more grippers, right? What's the recipe here? Yeah, it needs 13 items per second. Is this real? I guess so. And we said these grippers are 1 per second per arm, so that's 2 items per second overall. So to satisfy this, to fully drain a single input lane, I would need like 7 grippers? It's kind of ridiculous, eh? I guess it's easy enough. Almost easy enough to fit in one more. Like that. So it's still input stars, but it's... Given that I'm not actually producing roots this fast anyway, maybe 2 grippers is plenty. Yeah, see now the root factory has run dry. For what reason? What do you need? You need more... Oh, something got mixed up here. Uh-oh. What? This was supposed to just be salt. I think I got confused because this lane had backed up salt but no backed up elemental or motes of life. So the problem is all the salt here has run dry. Okay, that's workable. Run salt in like so instead of from here. Oops. I don't even have to merge these actually. Can keep them separate. Okay, let's go babysit some mana flares for a minute. And not a moment too soon, it would seem. Okay, roots being built at a reasonable clip, leaves being built with glacial slowness, because I just don't have enough inputs. That's life. I'm trying to start scaling up. We have to be small at the beginning of the bootstrapping process. And what are we actually bottlenecked on? It's actually these grippers, believe it or not. We're not getting leaves fast enough. Can I squeeze in another gripper somewhere, somehow? Sure. It's not working at full capacity this way. Ah, but if I did this, it would be. Why aren't both of your arms working, you weirdo? Don't say that to somebody with a broken arm, by the way. It's very ableist. Okay, I mean, good. Now we're starting to clear the buffer of leaves, which means that really the problem is the inputs to this. It wasn't the grippers, but I now have enough grippers that if I could scale up my production of leaves, I would scale up my production of mana roots immediately as a consequence. Good. And all of these mana leaves are going to research. What exactly are we researching? We're researching the right thing. Good. Am I not feeding mana roots in here somewhere? Where are the mana roots? I thought I had, but I guess I did not. They're just going from here. Okay. Well. Okay, well, we can... That'll be a nice small win. Let's do this. It's impossible to draw straight lines. And I need more pedestals. I don't think I need this one anymore. Yeah. Good. And now this is working on verdant collectors. Great. This stuff's still hours away. But now I am proceeding, however slowly, onto some important life research. There's actually a backup of mana leaves here? That's shocking. I can't be producing these faster than I can research them. There's just no way. I'm producing them so slowly. Look, the leaves keep running dry. Actually, why are the leaves running dry? Don't I have a million... Like, the input lines are fully backed up, right? What's the problem? I need more grippers? I didn't even think about that. Yeah, this needs 8 items per second. Okay. I mean, I can do... a bit more, like this... and this or something. And we're not making enough ether to keep up with this demand, I assume. But I want, you know, ideally, there shouldn't be bottlenecks in the factory, right? Everything should be produced and consumed at the same rate. All items should be moving at all times. That's an efficient factory. Obviously, we can't achieve that ideal with the amount of care that I put into factory design. And in general, like, it might not be the most important thing to strive to get that perfect, but that's an ideal. And anytime things are closer to that, you're happier, and when they're further from that, you're sadder. So the fact that now we're using up all the ether means great. You know, like this leaf production has gone up. And now if I want more leaves, I just need more ether. And I do want more leaves, but it's not, like, the most important thing in the world. I'm actually not making many life prisms. I guess because they're just going into 1 or 2 researches. Okay, that's fine, I guess. Let's go back to the starter base and try to re-up on... Oh my gosh, the mana flares. I got here just in time. Try to refill on water. Specifically, I guess, streamways. Because that's the main thing this base is making for me that I can't easily make myself. Is water and the streamways produced from it. There's grippers as well, but I just don't need very many of those. Perfect. My gripper count is like 100. My streamway count is low. Give me all this, please. Oh, could I be so ambitious as to set up underground streamways and deltas here? I think just, like... I mostly don't mind making these by hand. The problem is they require saltways, which I guess I can make by hand as well. Okay, yeah, let's make some more undergrounds. And for that, I need more saltways. Nope, I need more actual salt. Well, there should be a big backup of it up here. Oops, I grabbed some motes. I don't like motes. Get out of here. Okay. So this rift has encroached more and more on this building area. So I guess it wasn't done expanding when I started building. I think they take a few hours to expand, but you just like don't notice it. Hey, one of these went out. I guess I missed getting to this one before it ran dry. Yeah, so this doesn't mine anymore. And I can't make elemental life here, but that's no problem because I'm making it somewhere else now. Oh, and it's just taking forever. Yeah, making all this stuff by hand means making a bunch of saltways. So it sure would be nice. Okay, so what is it? It's just a saltway and salt to make an underground, is that right? Where are the undergrounds? Yes. So I have those things here, but I can't extract them so easily. There's no good place to squeak in an underground that wouldn't cut off an important part of the path of salt, right? Yeah, this thing is completely boxed in. Well, yeah, this is no longer anything. There used to be water here, but I'm not doing that anymore. It's all coming straight in. So I guess I could flip this round like so. And now this tile is where streamways, or saltways go. Right? And then right here I have access to saltways and salt. And also, very nearby, some streamways. Which... yeah, it's just streamways and undergrounds. Great. So... give me this, please. Finish building it. There you go. I guess gripper first. Then an output gripper here? Sure. Which means I could have this and this. Now I have access to the streamways and undergrounds. So these are made in just ordinary streamweavers. Okay, give me one, please. I don't even have grindstones automated. How embarrassing. Okay. So there's no convenient place to fit this inside here, but I have lots of space to work with, so that's fine. that, maybe? Well, why not just do this? I have to make sure I don't route input through here, because that's where this would go, but... Oh, this is not plugged in correctly. What is happening here? I guess what's happening is I hadn't put that in yet to take out of this chest and feed into here. No, you don't want that. Hang on. You're not getting salt from anywhere. This... Oh, I see. I replaced this underground with one here. Okay, I needed to do that a bit further over. Okay. That. No, that's not connected to anything, you Goomba. There we go. How about this? No, that doesn't point to anything. Okay, I think what I meant, hopefully, was this. Okay, great. So I'm not going to have as big a buffer of some of this stuff as I might like, but there's still space for a buffer here of streamways, and that's the main thing you need a huge amount of. The kind of variant streamways, deltas and undergrounds, you don't need that much. Back to my life project. Surprised none of these research is finished. How are things going? It's still going. They are still going. That's the best news I could hope for, I suppose. They're just going slowly because I don't have enough ether. So, I mean, I could route in more ether, I suppose, by digging up some air and crunching it into nothing. But I feel like this is kind of good enough for what I need at the moment, which is to get another couple, to get over the hump of a couple another life research nodes so that I can start using solar power at scale. And now, of course, the ambition of all these grippers looks kind of stupid, but it's nice to have less of a bottleneck here in case I ever do produce more leaves, you know? And this research, I mean, we're doing this pretty well. We're doing this. We're not doing this. That's fine. So we're researching 2 things, is that right? It says 4 things. Oh, because of this stuff? And this stuff, I see. That's why it's going so slowly. We're researching 4 things on 2 altars with no particular priorities being set. So stuff is just being researched in whatever order. Possibly switching back and forth in the middle, I don't know. And indeed, I was right. We are not producing mana leaves so fast that they're buffering up before you can do research on them. There was just some other issue stopping them from being consumed. We weren't producing some other input that was needed or something. Okay, I mean, Honestly, all my other episodes have been an hour and a half. This one's only been 30 minutes, and I feel like I've almost done as much, even though clearly I haven't. But like I'm accomplishing things that feel important. It feels like I'm on the cusp of something useful finally happening. It's just all going very slowly. And it's all spaghetti. It's all just beautiful pasta, and you are required to enjoy it. You can't criticize me because it's fun. Just live in the moment. Don't let the internet tell you everyone should be Nilaus. Or whoever. I don't think he's played MoteMancer, right? I think it's just like he doesn't play factory games for free. And it's expensive. Okay, we did it. I have Radiant Bloom, so that's a nice... upgrade to the Mana Blooms, which I'm not using yet. That lets, if they're next to production buildings, the production buildings become part of the root network, so it's a little bit easier to channel power through them. Okay. God, leaves are so slow. I really do need more ether. I mean, you end up needing in this game so much salt and ether for everything you do, and it never seems like it's going to be that it needs quite that much, and it just always does. So maybe I'll just go... Where's the nearest source of ether? Like, hello? It's 100 years away? It's nowhere? It's this? Well, there's some here. So is the problem life input or... Yeah, it's clearly I'm just not making enough motes of life. Now, I also don't have enough grindstones. If I put in more motes of life, I believe I'd eventually fully saturate all these grindstones and still not have enough ether. But it means at the moment, I could just plop down some more life or air. Oh, hey, Verdant Collectors, just in time. Yeah, make me like 8 of these? I don't know. It has me handcrafting leaves to get them, I guess. But I'm certainly not going to take those away from my factory. That's what it needs most desperately. So I actually have what I thought was a good design for life mining, I guess. It looks like it's using Verdant Collectors, and like these are all tools I have access to. Let's see what it looks like if I do that. Okay, I need more Verdant Collectors, it seems. So this doesn't say how much power it would consume, huh? If it were all operational, that's sort of annoying. But, I mean, I guess we can count it, right? These guys want 100 power. There's 4... 8... It's like 10 of them, so it's like 1,000 power. If I do this, is it going to start producing motes or little doodads? Obviously, I also am just like powering this now. Oh, actually, it'll tell me now. Total consumed 1,000. Yes, so I mathed correctly that 100 times 10 was 1,000. Maybe the easiest math problem there is, but I got it. Okay. So I have a blueprint that I claim is 500 watts. So if I just put down 2 of these, that ought to keep this running, right? Now, it's gonna look kind of silly to have this. But I don't have enough leaves, not even close, right? But anyway, once I have canopies, a solar field this big for something so small is going to be silly. But at the moment, I don't have canopies. Is that actual entropy? It is, okay. These motes, man. Or not motes, doodads. Flora. Okay, so if I had enough mana leaves, I could do this. The problem, of course, is I have the number of mana leaves I have is 0. Well, is there something back there? What's going on? Okay, we'll do that. So maybe, no, don't do that. Like, this is obviously not scalable, but this whole factory is sort of like, that's its motto, right? By the way, this isn't scalable. So if I just route this back to, like, here. And join it in with that. Even though I don't have the mana leaves to power it, whenever I have a spare moment, I can just sort of stand around with biorhythm and get a bunch of motes of life flowing in, right? Yeah, that's true. And that, I assume, if I were to wait long enough... Yeah, this is actually a sufficient zoom level to see it. I should be able to see the uptick in leaf production when this gets over to here and gets fed back in here. It's only like half... It's only like 1 lane's worth of stuff. So the fact that it's not... that it's being side-loaded should be fine. Yeah, and look at this. These are starting to pick up a bit more... This is mostly backlogged, so it should not matter. But these are now all running instead of just the first couple. And now this is happening, and the leaves have gone from like 2, space, 2, like 2, 2, 4, 2. Yeah, we certainly are producing more. How much more? I mean, it's hard to say. How's the research going over here? It looks like it's happening. Oh, I must have accidentally hit Alt somehow, and that turned off that detailed display. I mean, I can't spend my whole life standing around those fields. I guess I could look at putting mana flares on them, even though they're designed for roots, because I had that blueprint just from when I briefly checked in during the entropy update. And I guess I had roots at the time. But if there's a convenient place to fit some mana flares until roots are available, I mean, I guess that is actually a noticeable upgrade for me. And it's only 3. Yeah, that's not bad. Alright. Well, I'll keep biorhythm on, but this is being fed for the moment. And the leaf output is through the roof. It's still small, but it's way bigger than it was before. which you would think would mean there'd be more mana leaves coming out of this, but it just needs so many leaves. So I guess what you should say is, yes, there are more mana leaves coming out, but still not very many. What is this, mana regen? Okay. Not that big a deal. Honestly, this is like... I don't know. Mana regen means you can handcraft faster, that's basically it. And spam spells, but like that doesn't regularly happen. So this node is just sort of in the way. I want this node. This one is fine. The problem is we are going to research it whether we like it or not. Yeah, happy with, like, the fact that the life scaling up is actually happening finally. So what's going on here is this actually is backing up. It's more than a full lane of stuff. So putting it in here. Okay, well, you know what? It's kind of silly to load it into, like, one lane over here and then split it, right? Maybe what I'll do is split it into 3 here, where one of these does what it's currently doing. The other one joins up here, and the third one goes up here. These are the main production areas. And I mean, this is not the most elegant balancer, but it should allow more throughput. And now, in fact, the amount of elemental life, or motes of life coming in here is no longer the bottleneck. I just don't have enough grinders, which is great. I would like to have enough grinders, but the fact that I'm now saturating 10 grindstones is an achievement in a way. And I have a blueprint for this. I could just, like, plop down more grindstones, right? Now, what I want is this, but reversed. Mirrored. There's not, like, a mirror vertically for blueprints, I believe. But it would be nice if the ether were on top, like the ether output. So I think you can always just place this and then... and then reverse all the grippers by hand, basically. F? Is it just... yeah, I guess it is just F, right? Now this is the input lane, so I can do... like that. Not perfect. Oh, don't go in there. Well, I mean, I guess it's fine. I could have placed this a bit higher up, I guess. So that I would just have one lane, but I didn't want to risk overlap, messing things up with the overlap. It feels so weird that this is actually being fed, right? It doesn't look like it. There's no streamways anywhere near it. But the gripper here is turning the corner. Okay. So, that's another small step in scaling up. Also, of unbelievable that it only takes 3 mana flares to feed this whole thing. When I put down, like, 7 or something for that whole stupid setup, right? Maybe I was thinking some right things when I designed this. Even though it was designed for roots. Alright, what's happening? Nothing's moving anymore. Why you know? There are no leaves. The leaves have ended. The elemental life has ceased. The salt has ceased. Oh, because it's nighttime and I didn't set this up to... Yeah, this is finally coming back to get me. I set this up to be automated and said, well, it just won't run during the night. Bummer. And finally, a nighttime has happened where I didn't have enough backlog to paper over the fact that the salt had stopped. Nice. Oh, that one's not powered by anything, huh? Not much I can do about that, is there? With the current layout. Actually, but this guy's dead. Still can't reach. Very funny. Yeah, I wanted to put a bloom here, but it's too close to the coast. Alright, well, I guess I'll just remove this one. Okay, so... It's very exciting that we built up the life side of the factory enough that water has actually become a bottleneck. Like, the fact that water is only available during the day has finally slowed things down. And now, I mean, the elemental life production is just dribbling. There's barely any. Huh. Okay. It's now picking back up. You know, it's not ideal that it's so diurnal, but wait, this is water? It looks like earth. I guess it's got like little reeds in it. It's bluish. Okay. It is a big rock. But it is a wet big rock, I suppose, in the grand scheme of things. Oh, life prisms are running dry as well. Yeah. I mean... I'm researching so many things I don't want. I just want this. I know. I could, like, unplug some of the stuff. That, like, because anything that isn't life prisms, elemental life, or mana leaves is, in a sense, actively hindering things, but I have it set up. I don't want to mess with it. I guess what I could do is like that, right? And that'll stop anything involving roots from being researched for the foreseeable future. I assume most of the other stuff I'm researching does require roots. No, this doesn't. Oh well. Oh, there's actually... I didn't think... Maybe I didn't think it through, but I didn't think this ever happened. Oh, and I kind of do want bioradiance is the thing. Normally, there's like... You can't tell the... altars what to research, right? They just research whatever the pedestals give them, and if there are multiple legal options, they choose one of them sort of arbitrarily. But you can still direct research, because there's generally like, not a bunch of different researches that all require exactly the same inputs. In fact, there's never any two researches that require exactly the same inputs, I believe. But I didn't realize there were cases like this, where there are two researches, and the requirements for one are a superset of the requirements for the other. So it's, like, impossible to say, I want to work on just Daycaller, not Mana Canopy, right? Because if you have the ingredients for Daycaller, you also have the ingredients for Mana Canopy. Now, the good news is I don't want to say that. I want to say the opposite. And so if I could unplug the leaves from research as well, which are here and here, you should be able to force it to work on canopies. This one isn't, because I'm making mana leaves very slowly, I think. Yeah, see, by, like, undoing this, I've really not made much progress. I don't know. I guess the issue is this pedestal where the leaves go can be seen by both of these, so I don't know. I guess I'll just let the leaves carry on. It means I can't force myself to work on Canopy, but at least I'm making progress on multiple researches at once, right? Why don't you go? You have life prisms, you have leaves, you have elemental life. That's this, but I guess it's not anything else. You need, like, roots or mana leaves or something. Maybe even salt prisms. Oh, is anything working on this? Where do I have salt prisms being researched? That also has elemental life and roots. Nowhere, I think. And that is something I would like researched. So do you have access to roots? No. Ah, there are salt prisms here. That's why that research was happening. Wait, what the hell is this? Oh, I got a little lucky. I'm sideloading. If the other lane of this ever filled up with salt prisms, they would get loaded onto here accidentally. I don't want that. I want this. Okay. I can't do this because that would replace the underground. But I kind of want to peel off some salt prisms to run down here. Yeah, that's not what I want. Oh, now I don't know what I had. I think it was this, right? Yeah, that looks lined up properly. Like, I could put another delta here, I guess. But honestly, I shouldn't try to do that. What I should do is just... I can't! I was going to put it in a chest. Just put 100 salt prisms in a chest, but I don't have chests. Is it legal to drop items on the ground in this game? Or onto a belt? Oh, it's Z to... I don't think I can actually, like, take the item in my hand and drop it onto a belt somewhere. Onto a stream. And without chests, I can't actually, like, ferry around research by hand. It has to be automated. Well, maybe I could put them into a building that wants salt prisms, but then have them removed from it? I don't know. These guys don't exist, so I guess they don't mind being shut off. Oh, I didn't get this stuff, huh? Yeah, and all the salt has died off. Which shuts down the whole factory. We're on the water plane, and we can't get enough salt. Obviously, the reason for this is I haven't, like, prioritized it properly, but it wasn't a problem until now. I finally got everything else working enough that the small amount of salt I have is not enough. It's always another problem. That's, you know, the joy and the curse of games like this. It's what you signed up for, but it is sometimes frustrating. I don't feel frustrated right now. Just remarking that sometimes it is. Because I just want to get, like, salt prisms over here, you know? But the routing is a nightmare with what I've currently got. Well, this underground isn't even necessary. Nope, that doesn't work. That would be in front of the other one. Needs to be something like this, I think. Yeah, now I've smuggled out a tiny, tiny modicum of salt crystals into this maze of nightmare fuel. So let's get another pedestal going on you. Which could be, for example, here. And that should start bioradiance research? No. Because... Salt prisms, elemental life, mana root. What don't you have? Oh, well, mana roots, surely. They're over here. Don't tell me you don't have elemental life. Oh no, did I cut that off? No, it's because of salt. Okay. The sun, I guess, has just come up and we're starting to get salt coming in again. Oh no, you don't have power. There must have been a mana flare here I didn't refill when I went by. Okay, what the heck is that? It's not bioradiance. Overgrowth pillar, I guess? Life Prism, Elemental Life, Mana Root. Well, yeah, I did give you all that. But you also have Salt Prisms, so you should be willing to work on this. Salt Prism, Elemental Life, Mana Root. Yeah, okay. So that will eventually happen. But, I mean, okay, this one's working now. You're not working. Because this leaf pedestal has run dry and everything you could work on requires leaves. So if I could give you something else to do, which, for example, I guess... like here, right? That's something. No, you don't have elemental life? Surely you must. How could you not? What have you? How have you researched anything without elemental life, you weirdo? I know you did, but everything takes elemental life. I'm sure this researched something at some point. Where is it supposed to be getting elemental life from? Here. So it is plugged in, we're just not making enough elemental life to do all the stuff we need to do. Because of the scarcity of salt, I suppose. Okay, we finished Overgrowth Pillar, though. That's cool. Now that's working on Bioradiance. Why is it able to succeed? I see. Because this elemental life pedestal is earlier in the chain, so these two get priority over this one when elemental life is what's struggling. Okay, fine. So you're working on Bioradiance, and you are working on the more advanced thing that we don't care about. Daycaller? Yeah. I mean, I'll care about it someday. So let's have a look at this Overgrowth Pillar, huh? Where is this you? I mean, I don't know. It requires 1,000 power. We're clearly not going to do that. Bioradiance is active, so it... or Biorhythm is active, so it should actually do it here. But it's got this tiny little range. So it could only reach like these 3 squares, this 1 square, and there's already a life bloom there. So, great. All right. I mean, I don't really care so much about that. It's kind of expensive, but it's just taking up space in my inventory for now, right? Kind of want to just throw it away. Why do I have all this elemental water? Just make it all into streamways. That's what water is for. Great. Hey, look, for at least a brief moment, there's enough elemental life that this altar got to do something. Okay, so... and Mana Canopies, we're still making very little progress because we're working on Daycaller first, even though I hate it. I could take Mana Leaves, no. Ordinary Leaves out of the reach of everyone who has access to Mana Leaves, and that would force priority on Mana Canopy. I guess. Plus, it would let me... Actually, is there any... No, the problem... Yeah, ordinary leaves. Ordinary leaves. So these, right? This research is just all going to stuff I don't care about. So I wish research on leaves to cease. Oops, don't take that away. But this and this. All leaves should be diverted to the grand project of making mana leaves. I wonder, does the Bioradiance upgrade filled mana flares any faster, or just have a bigger range? It looks like it, I mean, it claims it's just a bigger range, which would be nice, but it still is like, man, you gotta stand still for a sec to fill these guys up. Okay, so these are now actually... Well, I guess it's nighttime, so pretty soon they're going to stop building as the flow of salt that has been buffered up trickles dry. Yeah. Oh, I guess I should set my sights on what I'm doing when all this wraps up, because with the setup that I have right now, I can't really make it go a lot faster without making substantial changes to everything. But it's still going to take 800 more mana leaves. No, 300, because I turned off the Daycaller research, right? Yeah, 300 more mana leaves before I can get canopies. And that's the big thing I want, because then I can start... I can just produce a ton of power. And start plugging everything in with roots and not have to do biorhythm babysitting anymore. And after that, I think we need to work on a different element. I'll have pretty much everything I need out of life. And I'll want to scale up more, I assume, water. Like a high throughput water facility to make... well, to do water research, I guess. Like, yeah, make lots of streamways. Oh my god, speaking of which... this base must be feeling neglected, I'm sure. But I can go pick up a bunch of undergrounds, hopefully? Yeah, it looks like the entropy is exactly at the boundary here, where it's not actually interfering, but if it squeezes out any further, it would be. All this stuff doesn't even really need to happen, because I don't come down here to pick up grippers very often. Let's just forget about it. And my reward, hopefully, yeah, is 50 undergrounds. Great. Plus 0 streamways. We actually did not manage to buffer any of those up before things fell apart. They all get put into the 50 undergrounds. Okay. Yeah, the chest empties. that's true. We put them into the chest and then we take them out of the chest. Kind of silly. Okay. Salt problems? Yes. It's daytime now, but recently it was night, and so there are salt problems. Okay. Yeah, I mean, the factory needs a lot to still happen, but I'm doing what I can at the limit of my meager abilities. I think we're probably done for today, and I might just babysit this off stream, at least until I have canopies and stuff. Off camera, off video. Not much interesting is happening, and I'm not committed enough to try to improve this for the short, hopefully, time that I actually depend on it. And it's not that interesting to watch, probably, now that I kind of know everything is set up, but badly. So, yeah, I guess tomorrow we can start on doing stuff with actual canopies. And I don't know what I want next. Like, water, as I said. But, I mean, there's a lot of things I could do with that. I could just have a big... water research area, and I will have to have that, but like, I want brineries, right? These I can probably just build by hand. You don't need very many of them. I don't think they're inputs to anything at all, really. Not any recipes, and not any research either. What is this, a brinery grotto? Allows binary to process Earth and Shadow, sure. But the other thing is, like, mana pools to make the factory still work at night. What? Interesting. Mana pools clear their own entropy for some reason. But getting downpour bastions going to harvest entropy and work my way along this entropy research tree is also appealing, right? I haven't even... Here's a thought. Didn't I... I should have gotten a copy of the entropy building, right? I would have thought. Is it artifice? No. Because it doesn't... No, I guess all I have is echo and echo flare. I don't have, like, this, which lets you... I believe this can transmute motes. Like, none of the other upgrades do it. I think this thing does. So, for example, if I had fire, I could turn it into water. Which is a way to get around a lot of, like, inaccessibility of various things on a certain plane, or, like, maybe I have brineries already, and I'm on the air plane, let's say. I've finished water and I've moved to air. And I have access to brineries, but... No, I guess this is a bad example, because on air I could just use shadow, or I could use water. But let's say I moved all the way over to life and then to earth, and I wanted a brinery, but there's no water to be mined. What do? Well, you could turn your earth into water and then feed it into a brinery, even if you don't yet have access to the research that lets you turn, like, run earth in a brinery. Okay, there's biorhythm. Bioradiance. So It is much bigger, I guess. From what I heard in the Discord when I asked about... Oh, is this fixed yet, by the way? It is. Now it says enables placing echoes of structures as blueprints. No, this is the one that was wrong, and still is. This is mana flares act as echo tracer. So when I asked about this, I learned in passing that the range of a mana flare doing echo tracer is about as large as an upgraded biorhythm. So it's this. Okay. Anyway, so I don't know. I mean, you could use entropy to do a lot of cool things, and so that could be what I were to do next with water, is get going on downpour bastions. But I think the most important thing is to just produce a lot of water, in the way that what I'm doing here is nominally producing a lot of life, although, you know, not as much as I might like. We're 1/12 of the way to Mana Canopy, and I'm signing off for today. Hope you guys enjoyed. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.